following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And here it is. It's Kansas City Chiefs week officially. Inside the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco, Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola. It's November 17th, and it feels like July 17th outside as I made my way from the parking lot in just a moment ago.
Spags got on long sleeves.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
guessing
it's
only
it's 80 degrees.
It's only 79 degrees. Maybe I've just been running around too much this morning. It feels a lot warmer than that, and they are out on the practice field right now. A beautiful day for football.
Except it's really windy out there.
Yep.
It could be windy in Kansas City.
That's right.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Yes.
Well, I just checked the temperatures, and it looked like on game day the high, although it won't be the high when they start, is like 58, and the low is going to be in the low 40s. So by 3 or 4 o'clock when the sun's going down, or 4 or 4:30, I should say. Yeah, it'll start getting chilly.
Beautiful sunny day in Kansas City.
No
on
rain.
Sunday. That's what that shows on my little app right here.
You know, they just have all these peripheral areas that are so volatile. I mean, you're talking about Kansas, Missouri, like Omaha too, right? You know, Omaha.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so all of that is kind of like around there. It's so volatile there. Oklahoma as well. You know, you have to watch those, but the wind is always blowing.
There was one year when I was living in Columbia. It got really cold. It snowed, and then it snowed again. And I swear to God, the street to the north of our house was frozen for the whole month of February. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating.
We are so blessed here in Dallas because, you know, you think Dallas and Texas, then you go straight up to Oklahoma. Whatever we're having in Texas, Oklahoma's always worse.
Yeah.
And so then you keep on going, and then there you guys are. You know,
I was thinking
worse than
people
that.
thought Missouri was south, and it was like, no,
it is not.
Not so much.
It is not.
I remember one year it snowed so much, we had to get to the paper in the morning to put the paper out. It was an afternoon paper, and the sports editor was a big old boy, right? And so someone had, I can't remember which car it was, but we were going to put him in. We were going to put him in the hatch of the back of the car so we could get some traction.
That's a good idea.
And then we had
you got to have weight, man.
We had to pick up one guy on the and we didn't want to stop because we thought so we just opened the door and told him jump in, right? It was like Von Ryan's Express.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember that movie?
So
it was
the wind. What do you see as far as wind?
No wind or rain.
My app does not show a detailed forecast for.
Oh, okay. He's got the cheap
I just had it.
Well, I did say something.
Got an Android.
I did say something. I said about the weather outside, and we just spent 5 minutes talking about the weather. Let's talk about the Cowboys. How about
it?
Mickey?
There you go.
Let's talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah. Bill's ready to go.
Yeah.
Bill's anxious. I'm with you.
Yeah, this week is a lot different than last week. Last week I was sitting there going, how in the world are the Atlanta Falcons 4-4? They're now 4-5, and they proved me right on Sunday with a 43-3 loss. And now I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, and I've got the opposite thought about this team. They've got a pretty good team.
No, they do.
Yeah, we know how they're going to try and improve.
55 high, 28 low on Sunday.
So by the time the game's over.
So
we're back on the weather.
The question was about the wind.
2 miles an hour.
2 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so today's guess.
But it'll go up to 5 once Tyreek Hill gets the ball.
That's a good one. That's what we got to deal with, the speed. So who's going to be on Hill? It's got to be Brown, right? The fastest guy on the team.
Since we've established that Anthony Brown is the fastest guy on the team right now.
Well, just as long as they don't get to halftime and they dump a ball over the middle and he runs 70 yards through everybody like a video game.
That is not – this is a different team, Spags.
Not
you can't bring that
2017,
stuff up, man. Come on, man.
Well, that was 2017. Yeah, it was 4 years ago. They play every 4 years. So
Look, he's going back 4 years, man.
Yeah. Well, I just remember that play.
I know that was.
Let me tell you, Tyreek Hill play. It would have been from about 5 years ago or 6 years ago, whenever his last year at Oklahoma State. Actually, he was Oklahoma State, then he wound up at West Alabama or someplace like that.
I
He
forgot that part.
He got in some
Got
trouble.
a little trouble?
At Oklahoma State, and he wound up at, I think it was West Alabama. Anyway,
How do you get in trouble in
last
Stillwater?
game of the year, 20.
Gaz never got in trouble.
Justin Blackman.
Okay, go ahead.
Dexter Manley. 2014 or 2015, whatever year it was. OU is playing Oklahoma State, okay, in Norman. And the OU has all they have to do, it's a final minute of the game. They've got the game under control, but it's less than a touchdown lead, okay? They are punting from the OSU 45-yard line, okay? Tyreek Hill is lined up at the 10-yard line to return this punt, okay? OU punts it, and it went out of bounds or fair catch or whatever. Now they're 90 yards away. Only problem is there was a penalty against Oklahoma State. It must have been a touchback. So
And then they re-kicked it.
And Bob Stoops made the decision to repunt to Tyreek Hill. And what happened? Tyreek Hill
house.
went 90 yards for a touchdown, and Oklahoma State won the game. That's when I was introduced to Tyreek Hill.
That's
Okay.
probably when I was introduced to being let down by Oklahoma. Year in and year out.
So you guys will think this
So
is
it was
funny.
the worst decision of Stoops' career outside of letting Brent Venables
Yeah, I
go.
was
But
going
go
to say
ahead.
that's
This
what
was funny. I grabbed the Kansas City stats, right? Team
All right.
stats, and I looked at Tyreek Hill and I circled his catches, and it said 75. And I'm going, oh, that must be targets, right? No, it's catches.
Whoa, really?
75, 855 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Already?
75.
That's this year.
I double checked that too. I thought
that his
maybe I got
career?
2020. No, I thought I might have had
Yeah,
last year at
2020,
the
yeah,
end, right?
yeah.
It says no, November 14th, 2021 regular season.
And, you know, as we think about this team, we look at KC and everybody's like, oh, these guys are having problems. Mahomes is it. Well, he still has, 20-plus touchdowns? And it's the turnovers that
25.
25 touchdowns.
10 interceptions.
That's what's bothering everyone, of the interceptions. And, of course, I don't know what's going on with their wide receivers, but even though Mahomes can be faulted for some of those, they're just some of the wide receivers are dropping the balls. This is the same team that went to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. You've got receivers acting like they've never played with Patrick Mahomes before.
And Kelce has 62 catches. I think he had 60 of them in this last game. I think they were throwing every pass to him, and 5 touchdowns. So those two guys got 13 of their 25 passing or receiving touchdowns. 13.
And this is an off year for the
Yeah.
Chiefs
Well,
offensively.
here's where the off was. They had 3 games in a row. They lost to Tennessee. They only scored 3.
2+ turnovers.
They beat the Giants. They scored only 20.
2+
and then
turnovers.
Green Bay was 13 points.
Drop
And
passes.
They won that game, by the way.
Barely.
And then last week, 41.
It was really just the second half last week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
well,
'cause it was-
it was 17. They had 17 in the first
17,
half, 24
right.
in
Yeah,
the
but
second
still.
half.
It was a ball game
It was
at
17-14 early
halftime.
in the
Yes.
third quarter.
Right.
They reeled off, 24
But
straight
if you look
points.
at what they did early in the season, it was 33, 35, 24, 42, 20, and 31. So this is a huge.
It looks like, did Tennessee have the blueprint?
Yeah.
27-3.
And I think they left it for the Giants, too, and the Packers.
No, yes. Well, let's just be real. I think the Packers probably have the best secondary in the NFL right now. Everyone talks about Buffalo playing very well. The turnover ratio is very high. But when you start looking at this Packers team, it's not just about turnovers. They're always in position to make a play. The cornerbacks are making plays. They're looking like our secondary minus the yards given up.
Right.
So I have to give them a lot of credit. They're not just looking at Aaron Rodgers. They're able to hold on. They have the potential of being undefeated because of their defense, not just what they're doing at the quarterback position.
And Kansas City had 160 yards passing against Green Bay 2 weeks ago.
That's a heck of a, that's saying a lot. And you had Jordan Love turning it over 3 and out, turnovers. You know, the secondary and the defense was put under enormous pressure, and they held up for 13 points against KC. That is damn good.
And this will, and I think Mike McCarthy kind of spelled it out during his press conference, talking about how this is going to be the big test for the defense. That, just because of what Mahomes can do, and he got into his 2.3, because 2.3 seconds is what a play is supposed to last. Anything longer than that, then the defense is in trouble, right? It gets to 2.6 or 3, and he's going, and Mahomes is not a 2.3 guy. He's going to extend the play. And not just
his drop back is 10 yards, so that's going to take 2 seconds right there.
And it's not just the fact that when you think of him extending the play, he's their third leading rusher, by the way. But it's not getting so much outside the pocket as he steps up. And he was talking about how he'll attack the A and B gap, so meaning either side of the center, to either run the ball or step up and throw it.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand that you're going to play the play longer than normal because of his ability to extend the plays.
This team reminds me so much of the Cowboys in regards to how they live off their offense. They play off of them. There have been many times this year where they have had to carry the load defensively more than they wanted to, and they've done a decent job at that because that's why they have this momentum they have coming into this game. But mostly they live off their offense, and if we let these guys get going, I was just looking at the videos of Atlanta, and I remember Greg Olsen was saying, this place is going crazy. When we just really start going off,
right?
Start reeling off the point. Same way in KC.
And Arrowhead, they'll be going crazy.
Oh my goodness!
Doesn't matter.
It's going to be. We're going to need all the poise and leadership qualities that we have on display for this entire game.
So he said when he talked about, and remember he coached there, right, in Kansas City at Arrowhead, and he said in his press conference that like at Minnesota, the decibel level was 120. Well, he said this place, it's 120 plus, and as a matter of fact, we're preparing for 140.
Yeah.
So the noise level is going to be significant. Was
it evident in practice today?
No, they didn't have it on today.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to have it on.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe because it's so windy out there that it was blowing the
sound
music away.
No, they ain't blowing that.
No, it didn't blow it that far, right? So maybe tomorrow. And who knows? Maybe they go indoors and make it even louder than they possibly can.
Do they do music or do they do crowd noise?
I think it's crowd noise because before it used to be music.
I've heard music. Yeah.
Now they have done music.
They do music when they warm up and things
but it's
like
not,
that.
That's not to simulate the crowd noise.
It's somebody's playlist, whoever's running that thing now.
Right.
But yeah, they had crowd noise when they.
It can't
go
be
inside.
louder than the Superdome.
It's weird because I've been there and it does.
Kansas City
get
and Seattle,
loud.
the outdoor
I don't
stadiums
know
are the
if it's the
loudest
way
in the
they
league.
And that's
constructed the
saying a
stadium.
lot because, of course, when you're outdoors, you have a lot more elements.
And I
coming
think
in.
I know it's Seattle. It's the way they constructed the stadium.
Well,
the
'cause
way
it's
that
almost
is
a
built
course
straight
they
up.
tied,
Yeah. I mean, it's
And this
Engineers
one,
up on the West Coast,
kind of goes. This one kind of goes almost in a half oval.
and so maybe that's
And
what helps
That's what
contain the
kept you-
noise.
yeah, right, it
And then
circulates.
remember they renovated it too, and I think that even whatever they did made it even
Put in more metal.
Yeah, right. Made it
something where the
louder.
sound can bounce off of the
So
walls.
the heavy metal music will resonate more.
Gosh,
That is not what they wanted it for.
Yeah.
No, not the concerts.
Minnesota is so loud, and it was even louder in the Silver Dome. And I think it was because of where the press box was. We were basically sitting in the crowd. It was open air, right?
Don't even bring up Silverdome.
It was like the old days in Washington when you were basically sitting outside the whole game.
I was
RFK.
with the Browns.
Yeah.
I was with the Browns 92, and we went into the Silverdome. And Belichick, he's like, "It's gonna be a freaking circus," and he was talking. He was just so mad before we went out there. Okay, guys, we're gonna stay together. Don't get distracted. Sure enough, Nick Saban has us, doing our DB drills, individual drills. Hot air balloon is throwing off heat. Right behind us, a hot air balloon in the Silverdome throwing off heat right by the defensive backs. We had to move. Circus is right. This is crazy.
So in practice today, Tyron Smith started off on the cords. when they were doing their stretch, and then he went and did some of the individual drills with the offensive linemen, but it didn't look like he was going to progress to any team. So McCarthy said he would be limited. They would see how he was doing and then assess what he wanted to do. He just thought that it would be, if he can go through the week and actually get through some practice, he would have a chance to play. But we'll see what happens.
It
after
still doesn't
what
sound
he did.
good. Doesn't sound. That's a lot of weight on an ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like Steele is
So
still out there.
My question then, because McCarthy said something about that he wants to get a full week of practice out of Tyron.
Yes.
We don't have a full week next week either.
No.
So if we don't get a full week out of him this week, and then you got turn around 4 days later,
Right.
basically, and play another game, and then you got a regular week for another Thursday.
Right.
Because we could be looking at New Orleans.
Yeah, we'll see you in New Orleans.
I bet.
That's
I
what
bet.
I say.
And a good sign out there was Randy Gregory was working on the chords, not real fast, but kind of step. So at least he's out on his feet doing something.
D-Law,
He looks really good.
you keep saying that.
He looks
But
good.
he
I
don't need
don't
no
know what
pads.
they're waiting for. But again, you can get them started practicing, but you would waste next week, right? Because it's a short. They're only going to get one practice the beginning of the week. Now maybe you start them practicing the week of the Saints game and see how he's
Which
doing.
would be the Saturday, basically after Thanksgiving.
Or Sunday.
Yeah,
because
Sunday
they'll go
would be
Sunday,
like
Monday,
Wednesday.
Tuesday, right?
It's a regular.
He could get in 3 practices, and then he would have 10 days off, and whatever they do, during that period, and then
Step
he
it
could
up.
practice for the next game, which is it Washington?
Something like that.
I guess
I'm
I
just
should
getting
have,
through.
I guess
I'm
I
just
should
getting
have
through this window of the season.
I guess I should have that
Through New
memorized,
Orleans.
right?
It has to be Washington. I mean,
We hadn't played
eventually we got to play them.
Yeah, we got to play it twice.
At some point, you gotta
Eventually,
play
we
him,
got to
right?
play them, so it has to be Washington. Oh, this is a crazy schedule going down towards the end. But
And as
very interesting.
for the other guys, CeeDee Lamb was out there. He had the arm contusion. I saw Cedric Wilson out there, so he looked like he was going to return to a fuller practice maybe than he had last week. And I think that's probably about it. And we'll see, how they decide to use. And you never can tell when they're what we get to see with Micah Parsons, right? Is he linebacker? Is he defensive end? Because he does a little bit of both when they do individual drills. So we'll see where it
he's
goes.
he's different
Are you
depending on the
worried?
package.
Are you worried about them running the ball? Or are you worried about getting pressure on Mahomes? Mm-hmm. And which does he give you a better?
You got to take the lesser of the evils. You got to let that slide. We played Buffalo, Super Bowl 25. You got run and shoot this whatever they call it, the Kelly gun or whatever.
K-gun.
K-gun. No huddle.
Yeah.
So okay, pick your poison. We figured we get beaten faster by the pass. So Thurman Thomas ran for 130 plus yards. But it still kept us in the ball game enough for our offense to get on track. So you got to pick your poison. You can't play both.
Clyde, I don't think, played last week, Edwards-Helaire, but there's a chance I think he might be back this week. We got to see when they get the injury report. I mean, he leads them in rushing average yards per carry at 4.7. So, although Mahomes is 6.1, we got to worry about that. Mm-hmm. But the two running backs are Williams and Edwards-Helaire.
Do you think they faced a team with a defense with such team speed as ours in the past? Because you're talking about our linebackers. I mean, we brag on Parsons all the time, but Van Der Esch he's no slouch.
No.
We've got defensive linemen who Gregory himself.
Right.
Well, he won't be playing, but you've got guys great. We got fast linebackers, athletic linebackers, and linemen, of course. With Armstrong and those guys. So
the other consideration you mentioned, DeMarcus Lawrence. If he comes back, you got to cut somebody. So maybe I don't think they're thinking this way, but I bet they're hoping. And this sounds bad.
Somebody gets hurt.
Somebody pulls a hamstring, right? And then it opens up a slot.
He's been hanging around Jerry Jones way too long, man.
It opens up a slot on the 53-man roster, right?
Oh, man. But you're right. That's just the way it has to go.
And did I mention he said Zerline should be back tomorrow? I can't remember.
I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but
he did.
It is true.
He said he'd be back on Thursday.
Okay.
So, and no new COVID things. Although, did you see the NFL, what they did?
No. Do you want to
because of heightened
I'm with you.
concern after Thanksgiving, they are going to have mandatory masking and testing of all players and staff twice after the holiday, and encouraging clubs to offer testing for visiting family and friends after Thanksgiving, because they're worried that you have people over to the house and you don't know their maybe vaccination.
Well, at least they're not
rate.
ignorant of the trend that's going
Right.
on in the country, because it's trending up now.
So it says the temporary protocols will involve a mask mandate indoors for all players and staff, regardless of vaccination status, between November 25th and December 1st.
Indoors as they prepare, but not on game day.
After Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So indoors at the Superdome, does that mean they
no,
wear
I think it
masks?
means inside the facility.
Well, if it is indoors, what I want to know is on game day, do they have to wear a mask on the sideline?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
That
And
would
then
be crazy.
it also
Have you
said
watched an NBA
Time
game?
of things to go. Yeah, I have.
teams must enforce
You're right.
off-field restrictions on unvaccinated players, and violations may result in discipline to the club that fails to do this. So they're
Thank
basically
you, Aaron
saying
Rodgers.
the clubs are required to have video camera surveillance of the weight room and cafeteria areas, and they'll be periodic reviewing these to see if there's any violations. So they're cracking down for what,
No more
6
Green Bay
days,
Packers.
something like that,
Yeah.
So it's just for that week?
for after Thanksgiving.
Just
'cause they're
for the
thinking
week, but not
holidays.
extended for the last
to
6 weeks of the season.
till December 1st.
Okay. All right. Very good.
That's an answer to
And December
Halloween.
1st is that the day before the Cowboys Thursday game against the Saints, I think?
Let me call up my calendar.
It is.
It
I think it is.
You got it?
Right? Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
It is Wednesday, December 1st, the day before the game
Okay.
against the Saints. All right.
So
and
there we go.
continue with more reports
Get us out of here,
from
Bill.
Mickey in just a moment on Mick Shots.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done,
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
and then let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Back to Mick Shots.
This holiday season, visit the Star to get your photo with Santa, presented by Monument Realty. Santa Claus will be at his Cowboys-themed cottage in the Star District, across from Ascension on the Star Boulevard, from November 26th, we're getting close, through December 24th. For more information and to book your photo, visit thestardistrict.com/Santa.
So Santa arrives the day after Thanksgiving, the 26th.
So is that okay to turn your lights on in your house after Thanksgiving?
It is, yes. The record was set in my city. I noticed the Christmas lights were up October 24th. The whole neighborhood had their Christmas lights.
Street or
no, it was across town.
I got you.
There was a whole neighborhood that already had their lights up.
Very nice.
October 24th. Okay, you can have them up. You just don't turn them on.
Don't
okay?
turn them on, right?
That sound like Parcells?
Yeah.
Okay, so any other observations from practice today that you want to share with the rest of the class?
Is Jordan Lewis feeling? Is he like bouncing around that little lighter these days because of
bouncing
his
well?
Excellent game that he had. One pick, 2 passes defended. I saw on it wasn't the interception. It was the knockdown, the first knockdown that he made.
Mm-hmm.
This is a trend in the NFL. Play action pass, intermediate routes. You rarely see them going outside. Every time, especially if you're in the slot, they're going to try and go across the middle. Jordan Lewis is like, I'm just going to play you inside. He fought Pitts. Inside the whole way. He jumped inside of him. He didn't trail the way Diggs and the guys do and Brown. He jumped inside and anticipated the route. That's why he was able to gain leverage on that. He did that 2 plays in a row. It's sometimes just thinking of it up here, it really takes a lot of pressure off of what you have to do physically. Mm-hmm. Because mentally, you're going to put yourself in position and anticipate the route. And if you study well, the way obviously Jordan Lewis did, you're going to be in much better position than as if you were trailing coming across the middle. This is something that it's not unusual for inside routes to be the prevalent route on these long distance, on these long downs. You just got to start playing for them. You got to start playing for them and stop giving it up. It'll make your life a whole lot easier.
And Dan Quinn was very impressed with his performance. And somebody asked him about, you like taller, lengthier corners. And he was like, well, I don't know about that because this guy is a competitor. And whatever he might be lacking, his competitive spirit makes up for it. And he thought that was one of the difference in this game, how hard he competed. And then today, Mike, during his press conference, kudos to Anthony Brown. He was talking about just how well he has played this season. And I was trying to find his quote.
What a veteran leader he is on the team.
Yeah, and the leader. There you go. You
veteran
listened, right?
Leader. Oh, my God.
He said, I can't say enough about Anthony Brown and what he brings to the team. And he was the guy that gave the kind of hype-up talk to the team when they're out on the field.
Yeah.
And he said
Dak did, too.
Dak did.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one of them did it in the locker room. I don't know where it was.
It was described as a pregame speech.
Yeah,
it could have been. Right. It could have been the night before the game. For all we
it could
know.
have been.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he talked about how we're kind of all in this together. And he said it was really good. He goes, it was one of the excellent ones he had.
He's one of the smallest guys on the team, and I bet that was very powerful to see one of the smallest guys on the team demanding attention from all of these big bodies.
I don't know if Anthony normally does his media session on Friday, and because he'll walk by as we're finishing up Mick shots, he'll be headed to the elevator to go do his virtual press conference. Apparently, he's talking today because just 1 minute ago, John Machota has a quote from Anthony Brown saying, "Coach McCarthy is always saying how we are going to get a team's best shot." I was like, how about we give them our best shot? Let's see if they can handle us.
No, that's what he.
Let's shoot first and see how they respond.
That's what he said before the game.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I just found it.
That is what he. So Anthony Brown was saying that was part of his pregame speech.
Yeah, he said his message was more about everybody coming into AT&T Stadium and being hyped up to beat the Cowboys.
Yes.
He goes, why don't we go out and, I think the word was, shoot them down before they even get to that
That's
point.
what they did.
They did.
They did. They completely went away from their game plan. I just can't believe how they did that. And I guess the good coverage by Brown and Lewis and Diggs was the reason that they went away from it.
Just didn't have the right blueprint.
They had the wrong blueprint. So, I mean, when you look at this team, man, I talk about Brown. I've been dogging Brown for at least a couple of years.
You have.
And you've always been
on this. He came around, though, about a month ago.
Well, to me, this entire season, he's really been playing well. Once he started, it was the one play where in the end zone, I was mad at him because he didn't turn around, but the ball hit him right in the back of the head. Remember that? In the end zone. It was like right there. He's like, okay. And somebody, Casey, went over and congratulated him. And from then on, you've seen him have more ball presence. You know, he has an idea of what the receiver's trying to do as opposed to reacting. He is being proactive, just like his speech. Let's be proactive. He has become that person now.
See, I think maybe he's always had it. He just hasn't manifested.
Of course he has it.
Yeah.
And he has
it. In fact,
that's
what
why
I
I was
remember
fussing about it all the time.
And you probably remember it, Mickey, his first training camp practice as a rookie. Do you remember what he did? It was early on in team. He picked off Tony Romo.
Yeah. That's right.
He might have picked him off twice in that practice. And then I'm thinking, we need to keep an eye on this sixth-rounder out of Purdue.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen an interception where you break up the pass and you catch it.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Well, first of all, from the beginning, he knew what the route was. It's about anticipation. You can't just go out there having no clue of what was going on. I have always thought he's had it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always fussing, because I know he can do better.
More expectations.
Yeah, this guy's got the footwork. He's got the speed. And, you know, those little bitty DBs, they can get on a tall receiver's nerves because they are always in your way when you're trying to make the steps.
And the Cowboys saw it, too. That's why they gave him a contract extension.
They gave
him a 3-year deal.
And perfect time.
They just don't want him to be a scout.
What do you mean?
It was about 3 years ago. Missouri and Purdue were going to play. And I asked him about the Purdue quarterback situation. He goes, they got a young guy. He hasn't played. He's going to have his first start. He goes, that's going to be problems. Well, he threw for 500 yards against Missouri. They came back and won the game.
Right.
So I had the next day, we get back into the locker room. I said, you have no future as a scout. And he started laughing. He goes, I can't believe that guy threw for 500
But they
yards.
won. You guys won.
And you know, he's such a good guy, mild-mannered guy, and seems more of a quiet type.
Kind of sensible.
Right, and sensitive. And,
yes.
And so it may have caught people by surprise that he delivered such a stirring pregame speech to the team. Yeah. And so, Everson, were you called upon very often to give any pregame speeches?
No, they wouldn't like my speeches. I'd be blaming everybody for stuff. No,
they knew not to call on Everson.
I just wasn't that guy. I think everybody. I was always the guy that would come to you individually.
Yeah.
And talk. And to me, I thought it always.
You got your message across.
I was going to get it across the person.
So who was the hype guy?
The hype guy, Eugene Lockhart, Charlie Waters was very good. Dennis Thurman also very good.
I could see Thurman. Yes.
And of course Harvey Martin, man. You know, I mean, when you throw the wreath into the other team's locker room, you got some guts, man. The cojones, I guess they call them.
That's one of the great pictures ever of him walking, carrying that wreath in full uniform, helmet still on. Right? And Washington tells the story. So it was against the Redskins, the final game in the '79 season. that when he opened the door and threw the wreath in and it slid in, they were all on their knees doing the post-game prayer.
They said people started crying, man. They were so mad. I mean, they weren't crying because they were just girly. They were crying because they were the crocodile tears. They just wanted to just rush out of there and just beat him up. But that's when those rivalries really meant something. I'm surprised from the era, from there and on, even before that, I'm surprised people are actually friends after they finish playing. I'd still be trying to fight some of those guys.
I tell you what, do you ever ask Randy White about Mark May? To this day, and he said it on the air, and so I don't mind saying it. To this day, he despises that guy.
I'm surprised that's a lot more prevalent throughout the entire NFL with the old guys.
One of the stories, and Randy would tell this story, that they were in Washington, and they had to at RFK. You had to go through the dugout to get to the clubhouse.
Yeah, right. Switzer had to go through it to get to the bathroom during the game.
Right. Yeah. And so evidently Harvey Martin. I don't know if he was getting sued or he had to file for bankruptcy or something. He had some financial problem. This would have been in the late 70s, and they said that they came out for the pregame. Come out of the dugout, and they started throwing pennies at Harvey, right? Hitting him in the helmet. Yeah. He goes, "Hey, Harv, do you need a loan?"
Yeah. Oh, no, they threw much more baby powder. They started calling us South America's team. Oh. So, yeah, we've had some run-in. But that's for Washington week, guys.
This is...
Mickey wrote a book about Washington week,
so,
which we'll talk about.
We can do a week.
We'll do it. We're going to do good.
That's right. We got two more chances sometime in December.
That's right.
On down the road. All right, we continue with more Mick shots in a moment.
That's a good one. I didn't know that.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Back to Mick Shots.
Hey, how about this? Your favorite WWE superstars return to AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. Tickets are now on sale. Get yours before they sell out. Visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
All right, final 5 or 6 minutes of this Wednesday edition of Mick Shots. And Mickey's going to head to Kansas City on Saturday. You got it. The bus, everything's all ready to
go.
About how many are going to be on that bus?
About a dozen.
About a dozen. Okay.
It's about right. We can fit about 5 people.
You got room left?
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Are you taking reservations?
Maybe one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, Mick's driving the bus. You didn't know that, did you? Mick's driving the bus. He got to get there, man.
I'll be riding.
You're going to swing by the house on the way back home?
I'll ride shotgun. As close to shotgun as you can in the bus.
Mm-hmm.
The seat right by the door.
You're
in the
the
front.
navigator.
Yes. And keep the bus driver occupied. Make sure he's paying attention.
Make sure he's awake. Stays
Yeah.
awake the whole time. All right. The coming out of Sunday's game, and we talked about it on Monday and Tuesday, but is there a particular unsung guy from Sunday's game against the Falcons that stands out we haven't talked about? One, of course, and I don't know if we talked about Dorance Armstrong.
That's where I was going to go.
We did. We kind of. I wouldn't
somewhat.
I wouldn't call
him stepping up
without Randy Gregory.
Randy Gregory was a big part of that.
Yes,
game. And on special teams too.
And the special teams deal when he blocked the punt, but more so on defense. I think he finished with 3 tackles, and he provided some pressure. And this is what we've been waiting to see from him, right? Yeah. In preseason, training camp, he looked so good, and then he got hurt, and he kind of disappears, and it took him a couple games to get back in it. Right. Yeah, he didn't really do much, but this game it looked like the guy we saw in training camp.
Could it be preparation? Because the way you saw him play against Denver and the way you played against Atlanta, just two different people, and it wasn't like he was going up against really quality competition at the position.
I think that was only his second game back after he missed about a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you get back in the saddle, and then all of a sudden it kicks in, and he's very versatile. I mean, I remember in training camp they were using him as like a stand-up outside linebacker.
He seems very fast and mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a guy that's just a big footer, just walking around, stomping all over the place. He seems to be light on his feet, and when he blocked that punt, that showed athleticism. It wasn't just
the way he laid out.
Desire. Yeah, it wasn't just desire. There was a method to his madness.
And he came in at the right angle also. That was huge.
And by the way, he came back the previous week against Minnesota. He had 25 snaps against Minnesota, had a tackle for loss in that game, and then against Denver, 32 snaps, and then 38 snaps against Atlanta, and credited with not only the sack, but 3 tackles for loss and the block punt in that game against Atlanta.
So they're going to need it again because getting pressure on him, I can't say it enough, is going to be just ultimately important.
To me, the weakness of the Chiefs is the O-line.
Well, you know what? I didn't realize it.
Consistent this year.
I didn't realize it, but they've got 3 rookies starting on the offensive line. Creed Humphrey at center, Trey Smith at right guard, and Lucas Nyong at right tackle.
TCU rookies. Guy.
And they brought in the veteran, right? Orlando
Brown.
Orlando Brown.
He's not living up to his. Well, I guess he's a little older now, isn't he? But
I would
he's
imagine.
just really not. Well, they signed him just because of what happened against Tampa in the Super Bowl.
And
Orlando is. I mean, he is. He was drafted in 2018. He's not that old. He's third-round pick of Baltimore.
He is not. They brought him over. If I'm not mistaken, they brought him over. He just didn't seem to be doing that.
Right. He was about to become a franchise money player at Baltimore, and they Ronnie Stanley. They spent a lot of money on their other tackle, and so that's why Brown. They weren't going to. Was available. And
Fourth year,
they traded for him.
Fourth year, only 25.
Yeah,
he's not playing well. He's not.
He's a humongous human being.
Yes, he is.
And so he's one that's always going to have to keep his weight under control.
And if he's that humongous, and looking at how Armstrong's playing, Armstrong should be able to do very well against him.
So they basically restructured their whole offensive line.
Joe Thuney was the other big free agent pickup.
They brought in Thuney, right? The other 2 starting tackles from last year, they didn't bring them back.
He got hurt.
The left tackle, was that the left tackle that tore his ACL in the AFC Championship game? and they didn't bring him back. He finally signed with somebody, I can't remember. The right tackle had gotten hurt. They moved the right guard to right tackle. They brought in somebody that hadn't played to guard, and we saw it was a mess, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, yeah, Tampa Bay knew how to play them. Well, yeah, they took advantage of the makeshift offensive line.
That's exactly what.
And it was Eric Fisher, who signed with Indianapolis, and then they had Mitchell Schwartz and Mike Rimmers on the other side.
Right, and those guys aren't there again. So
they're
backups.
They're not invincible. They are not invincible by any means.
You just got to go play.
That's right.
You got to go play and keep it clean. Keep the pocket clean. Cut down on the penalties.
Don't give them anything.
It'd be interesting to see. They keep bringing it up and talking around the Connor Williams, Connor McGovern thing, and it'll be interesting to see if they look at that a little bit more deeply, especially in this game. Because the last thing you want to do is get holding penalties and get 1st and 20 with that noise
on the road,
and get behind the chains, because then the noise increases, right?
Can Connor Williams play fullback?
I would hate to lose that package. Yeah, I agree with
So
you.
I guess, so Connor McGovern can still, if he was the starting left guard, you could go ahead and move him to fullback and keep that package, and Connor Williams comes in to play left guard.
Yeah, but then they would know what's coming because he would be in the game.
Well, he's declaring he's tackle eligible or lineman eligible.
I understand that,
anyway.
but he's still going to have an extra offensive lineman in the game, and they're going to
Or
see
you can
that.
shuttle plays in with the guard, right?
Well, they see it anyway. Because
Tom. You remember that, right?
Yes.
I was shuttling in with it.
Shuttle plays in with the guard.
We killed that segment. Did that segment die? 2:15.
I told you 10.
You got a mix shot you want to?
No, I think I'm good.
Let's try it.
Wait.
Okay.
Let me see. I got
we
lots of notes
we
here.
don't have our itinerary
We don't have
together
time
at
here.
all. Mix shot's supposed to be on Monday, right?
Hey, did I tell
Mix
you?
shots ran in the
It can
mix
be
ran
anytime.
on Monday.
Mix shots can run
Anytime.
anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime.
Did I
It's the
tell
Stampede.
you
The fight song is Monday.
that Patrick Mahomes has played against every team in the NFL except
The Dallas
the
Cowboys.
Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys.
That's cool.
How about that?
Yeah, there you go. That was a mix shot.
There you go.
That was a mix shot. That was a rant.
Take that with you.
That's good. I like that. We need more of that. More of that the next 2 days. That's your assignment. We want more mix shots. Can you do that?
I'll come up with some. I'll pass
He's lost
some
his.
to him.
He's focused on
I was
something
just looking
else.
for another one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging there, Bill. I gotta watch it. So we both went out at the same time. So.
It's like Thanksgiving. It's like Thanksgiving. You're sitting there watching the Cowboy game with your uncle and your cousin, and then you're talking about, man, I really like that Dorance Armstrong. And
you hear those snoring over there? Yes.
1970.
Go get up and talk to the women. Yeah, say, hey guys.
1971, I escaped Thanksgiving dinner, went up to my aunt's little den to watch OU Nebraska.
the game of the century.
And then my uncles, they told everybody, yeah, we're going to go up and keep Mickey company, right? And then they all fell asleep.
That's right. That's what they want to do. Get away from everybody else so they can go to sleep.
But that's for next week. Those are Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving
stories.
Yeah,
Next
man,
week.
we're ahead of ourselves.
All right, so that does it for this edition of Mix Shots. We can't wait to hear what Mickey has up his sleeve in the way of mix shots the next 2 days.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!